Hi guys. Good morning. It is now 3 a.m. on Wednesday night or Wednesday early morning. I don't know. I don't really feel like talking right now, so let's just get straight to the point. Happy 2016. I got an earring. This week has been awesome. And I've been thinking lately about this piece of text that I read way back when, like in 2016 or 2017, I don't know, when I was this huge Evangelion fan. And I had like a Tumblr account. And I was really, I was really about like learning Evangelion lore and explaining it to people who would watch it because of me, or people who had already watched it for any other reason. And I came across this piece of text that really stuck with me because it was like 15 or 16. I was in like high school back then, and I came across this piece of text written by Yuko Miyamura. She is the seiyū, or voice actress, who voiced Asuka, who is one of the characters in the anime. And it's called A Place for Asuka in the Heart. And I had this little, it's not really a poem, I had this little like section of the interview, because it's like this text that appeared on the 4th volume of the manga for Evangelion, which was released in 1997. The 4th volume, that is. And I was thinking about that text, and I decided to like make a video on it, just so that I could like update my YouTube channel, because I haven't really posted anything in like a year. And it's about Asuka. It's about the character that she voices on the show. I think the show is from 1995, right? Anyway, I'm gonna read it to you guys. It stuck with me back then because Asuka is like 14 and I was 16 or 15, so we were kind of in the same age range, and I guess I was going through similar stuff, and still am going through similar stuff. I haven't read the text in like 5 years. It's been so long. Anyway, let me put on my reading glasses. Okay. I also I've been doing something different to my hair as well. I think it's so let's start. I'm reading this off evamonkey.com. Okay. So, Asuka was a young girl, a part that taught me a lot. She wasn't so much a part of my personality as a separate entity inside of me, something close to a friend. It's like she and I are studying the human condition together. Now, get this clear, I'm not talking about Sybil or anything like that. It's not a split personality inside of me alone. I think it is in all of us. You know how everybody has different sides to their personality? Something like that. I think it's just because I'm an actress that I had the chance to approach the character called Asuka. I'm sure that you're thinking that an inexperienced actress like me is out of her league writing these words, and if you do, I apologize. What I really wanted to write about was what an actress does when she tries to act, what approach she takes to the work. There are all types of actors out there, so I suppose there are as many approaches, and this is how my relationship with Asuka began. Just to let you know, Asuka wasn't the most open-hearted character I've ever met. When I act Asuka's part, I try to synchronize myself with her 400%. But every time I tried to draw myself in closer synchronization, Asuka would never allow herself to sync with me. Even in the end, she would never step across the line and draw closer to me. One day, I figured out that there was a wall in Asuka's heart. But there's a problem with that. If I did all the work and allowed myself to be submerged in Asuka's feelings, her self-absorption, her fears, her loneliness, all those things I would feel once I came over the wall in her heart and feel as she felt them, I would suffer the same spiritual damage she suffered. I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. Even as I tried to pull down the wall, it would grow taller and taller. I guess that's only natural. The more you push, the greater the power to resist becomes, until it started to look as if I would be the one to break. It seemed much like a fight between a married couple. Then I decided to accept Asuka and the wall in her heart as she is. I decided to reserve a small part of my heart for Asuka to live and do my best to protect it. So even now, there is a line drawn in my heart that separates Asuka from myself, and it is there that Asuka still lives. I can analyze it with calm detachment now, but when I was playing Asuka, it was a battle. Maybe it was something like a relationship between Helen Keller and Anne Sullivan. I don't know who those people are. Asuka would cry out, "Don't you dare come inside my mind." Her plea came out so amazingly strong. It was painful to portray her. I would ask myself why it was so painful, and I wouldn't know the answer, so the pain grew more intense. If the reward for pain is greater experience, then Asuka gave me quite enough experience to last me for a long time. The thing I would like to say to the friend in my heart is... Now this is the part that I remember, that I specifically remember from when I read this text for the first time, right? This like interview piece. I don't know how to categorize this. The thing I would like to say to the friend in my heart is, Asuka, you're just a 14-year-old kid, aren't you? 14 is a time of life when you are thrown against the wall of life. You are forced to learn. It's puberty, where you decide what kind of life you're going to live, right? Evangelion came to its climax just as you hit that point. But after that, what would your choices be, Asuka? What good would you try to do? What kind of adult would you grow into? Asuka, I want you to stay in that place in my heart and grow into an adult at your own pace. I'll keep up and grow up right alongside you. You're thrown against the wall, but the thicker that wall gets, the more weapons come to hand that will allow you to break through it. You're in training for life every day, so let's not share our pain. Let's share our happiness and do our best to become good friends. There's no need to overthink it. If you come to a mountain, learn to eat mountains. If you come to an ocean, learn to drink oceans. Each is delicious in its own way, so taste it. Life is fun, Asuka. And that's the end of the poem. Not the poem, the interview piece. That's it. I think it's interesting. I guess the way I felt back then was, I'm sure that someday I will learn how to eat these mountains and drink these oceans, whatever. And I guess that never quite happened. Or if it did happen, it never really happened consciously. I guess it did happen subconsciously without me, ever realizing it, really. I don't really know what to think of this text, really. I think I felt a lot stronger about it the first time I read it when I was around Asuka's age, but now that I'm 25, or still 24, but I'm going to be 25 this year, in 3 months. I feel like I don't really feel a specific way about this poem anymore. It's not a poem. I don't know why I keep saying poem. Oh my god. But yeah. it's interesting. It's still interesting nonetheless. I guess I'm gonna try and think about it because, in some way, my 15-year-old version of me, of myself, is still alive inside me. I mean, I think about him every day. And he was not having it very easy, mentally. Because of, coming out and the pressures of being gay. And, depression as well. It's not easy. I don't know, when I started making this video, recording, I thought that I would have a lot more to say about it. To say, but I don't. I don't have a lot to say. I guess I'm still learning how to eat mountains and drink oceans. And I'm still trying to become good friends with my 14-year-old version. I somehow wonder if that's how, if that relates to what the voice actress, Miyamura was talking about, becoming good, because obviously she's older than Asuka, than Asuka's character. She wasn't 14 when she voiced her. So I wonder if by talking to Asuka, to this 14-year-old girl, she was kind of attempting to talk to this 14-year-old version of herself, There's no need to overthink it. I feel like I should have been forced to learn a lot more when I was in my puberty. During puberty. I'll keep up and grow up right alongside you. I think I've stopped throwing myself against the wall of life and just I've begun to lean against it rather than try to throw myself against it all the time like I used to. It makes life a lot less dramatic, but it doesn't mean it makes it a lot easier, even. Not even, either, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Many thoughts. Much to think about. I want to become good friends with myself, with my 15-year, with my teenage version of myself. Because every time I stop and think about all the things that I was up doing at 15, 16, whatever, I'm not proud of them, of those things. I mean, of course, except for the times when I was having fun and being carefree, but not so much other times, right? I feel like in the future, in the very near future, once I'm done with uni, I am going to have to very violently throw myself against this wall. I'll have to go back there. I'll have to go back to throwing myself against this wall, and I'm not very enthusiastic about that, but I feel like that's something that I need to do before I'm 30. God damn it. You know what, that's it for today. I'm tired. It's 3:35 a.m. This video is 15 minutes long. It didn't need to be 15 minutes long. I was taking a look at the last video that I posted, like on January 5th of last year. That was 18 minutes long. What the hell? What the hell was I up to talking about so much? Like, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to sleep now. I'm turning off my camera. This was an interesting video. Goodbye. And have a happy 26th. May your heart grow fonder, and may you find true love. I love you. Bye. And keep it if you've already found it. Lucky you, bastard.